Dread King Logan, and you're watching the Flavor General Josh, the Mouthpiece Danny, and my personal homeboy Cody on Rasslin Rage, r2youtube.com. And if you're not watching, then you're a peasant, and I can destroy you.
Oh!
This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. Let's go down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Yep. Hit it.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 116 of Rasslin Rage. This is a special episode where we will be joined by the leader of the Nomads, Ace Evans.
Woohoo!
If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, smash the thumbs up.
Yep. Don't forget to click that little bell to make sure you get notified. Now, you can find Rasslin Rage and MIW on Facebook. Links to the page can be found for the groups in the descriptions down below.
Down there.
But you got to hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the bell first.
Right. Down there. And if you don't know how to get to the description on your mobile, if you go over to the right, there's a little arrow down thing. Click that. It'll open up a drop-down menu, and you scroll in there, and it'll be the description. And there's all kinds of cool links in there, like donation link, because we like money. But it's not only that we like money, we like having gas money to get to shows and stuff like that, and to buy cool equipment to make the show even better. But
you know, one of these nights we'll have to go back to the dance party.
The dance party? Everybody do a dance party? That's right. All right. But
how much do they got to donate for you to do DVA?
He's talking to you, Danny. Before we get into this episode tonight, we have to thank our sponsors. First up, Happy Harper Ice Cream. The man right there, which looks like on my screen to the left of me. All right, so the left.
To me, he's down there.
Right, yeah. Happy Harper Ice Cream. They do ice cream with flavors about Michigan independent wrestlers like Shogun, like El Ridiculoso, like the Dread King's Coffee, like
so good.
There's so many more. It's insane. Aquabra, right? It's insane. So check them out. A link to in there to their Facebook page is down in the description. Also, huge big thank you to BCWA. Follow BCWA on Facebook at BCWA and check out their website, gobcwa.com.
Man, that's simple.
Right. Tonight's a special episode, as Dan said in the beginning. We're going to be joined by none other than the leader of the Nomads, Ace Evans, very, very shortly. While I work on that, these two dudes right here, they're going to talk a little, maybe.
Talk. We had a poll on the MIW Facebook page to see who the top faction in the state of Michigan was. It was a pretty close race for a long time, and the Nomads ended up winning that poll by 7 votes. They beat out DTA. So if you weren't involved in that poll, if you're not on the page, you're going to blame it yourself.
There you go. Listen, we want to give a special shout out to Detroit Punk. It seems that our info guy, we ain't gonna mention any names, but he forgot something.
Where'd he go? He went bye-bye.
He split.
He said see ya. He didn't want to be here no more. No.
It was Josh.
Yeah.
Josh did it again. I told you.
But where'd he go? He took off on us. Here, I'll send him that invite again.
So
man.
yeah, so if you're upset and you want to go after somebody, it's Josh. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Well, yeah, you definitely go. There he is. Hey.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be here yet or not.
Yeah, you're here now. I brought you in.
Oh.
You in. You're here now.
I thought it messed up.
It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's live, and it, you know what I tell everybody. What can go wrong will. It always does.
Every time.
Always.
Always. So we're here with Ace Evans. Before we start asking him some questions about the Nomads, we're gonna hit this Indies little thing we got here. It's a little video montage segment thingy majig, whatever you want to call it. And when we come back, Danny, Josh, and I are going to ask Ace Evans some questions, and we're going to break down or get a little bit more in-depth look at the Nomads when we come back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It's the special faction edition of Rasslin Rage, and we are joined by Ace Evans, the leader of the Nomads. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
What's up, Ace?
my man over here, Josh, the flavor general, the 5-star flavor general, the leader of the White Boy Board Army. What else did we say you are?
I think that's everything.
You said I can't say it on here no more.
The president and CEO.
That's at least $2 in the swear jar every time you say it, Danny.
The president and CEO of Happy Harbor Ice Cream has a question for you. He's going to start it out. Give it to him.
So thank you very much for joining us. Real glad that you were able to join us after having the poll. The first question I wanted to start out with was, how are the Nomads formed? Like, how'd you guys come together in the first place?
How much time do I got?
We got all night.
So it started out probably 10 or 11 years ago now. My brother Mo and we were the Evans boys for a while. And then he went on to do dad things for a while and, be a good husband and all that. So I went solo, and then that's when club director Donahue came in the picture. And he was always even before he was seen in front of people, he was always helping me do different things and do things differently and kind of stand out. So I thought it would only make sense to bring him to the front so people could see him too, the mastermind of Ace Evans. And then, probably about 5 years ago, I met CJ. So I got a funny story about CJ first. So I met him at Pro Wrestling King in Indiana, and show was 4 hours long, and I'm waiting for my pay, right? And I haven't got paid. And I went up to the promoter. I'm sitting there looking for like a belt to steal, right? Because I hadn't get paid yet. So I went up to the promoter. And I had asked him, hey, man, I haven't got my pay, and I want to go home now. He's like, oh, I already paid you. I took care of you. I was like, where's my envelope then? And then CJ had just happened to walk by me, and this is the first time I met CJ. He's 6'3", 280 pounds. And the guy's like, oh, I thought he was you. And I was like, no. So he's like, so what should you do? I was like, don't piss off that angry man and get him to beat me up for money. I was like, reach in your pocket and give me that $20 or whatever, And he's like, okay. So the guy turns, walks over to CJ, and he goes, hey, I paid you, and that money was supposed to go to that guy, points right at me. I'm like, oh, God, this guy's going to murder me in the parking lot.
Oh, no.
So fast forward a couple of years later, and he shows up to our Holland show that we did, the very first Holland show where I wrestled Rhino. And he was dressed up almost exactly like me. Leather vest. At the time he wore a singlet, bald head, big beard. And I had went to Xavier Justice, and I said, hey, man, we look the same. You might as well just put us as a team. I said, okay. So the actual tag team was formed of the Nomads then. Shortly after that, we had met Pickles, and that was at the time when the Killer Clown thing was in, when the Killer Clowns were on the news.
Yeah.
Right.
Knives out, like chasing cars and stuff. What scarier thing to have with you than a 400-pound clown?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, why not? It made sense, right?
yeah.
And then at the same time, Pinky Shortcake came in the picture, and for whatever reason, she was put with us. So we were more like an oddities at the time. You know, we had a clown, we had a midget, we had bald-headed dudes. It was kind of like an oddities kind of gimmick,
Right.
which was fun because Pinky's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, she is.
And then we got paired up shortly after that with Patient Zero, who turned into Prospect Zero, looking for like a belt. And he was very short-lived. He only lasted maybe about 4 months, and fizzled out. And then Road Rash. Yeah, he was just he was training with PPW, and again another guy with a big beard and kind of fit the look. And I was like, I want that guy with me. I handpicked him to be with me. So ever since then, I've been trying to train him how to, be more aggressive and be more nomadish, I guess.
Right,
so
right.
Very, very stuck 80s style kind of character, and I'm trying to get more now mixed with the 80s.
That's awesome, man.
Cool.
Billy Ray Daniels, same thing. Like when he came fresh out of Darcy School, I mean, he was a cowboy redneck gimmick. He looked almost exactly like us. He came out with the leather chaps, the vest. I was like, I want that guy because I had a bunch of heavyweights. I didn't have a cruiserweight. It's like,
right,
let's take over the whole thing.
Yeah,
right.
So that's how all that started.
How long ago was that?
Billy Ray?
Well, how long ago was it that you guys you and CJ got together and became the Nomads? 5 years ago?
Yeah, CJ and I were about 5 years ago. Mo and I was 11 years ago. Same with Donahue. Prospect Zero was about 5 years ago-ish. Maybe more now, maybe 6. I think CJ is now 6 or 7 at least.
Okay.
But yeah, and then Road Rash has been with me for the last 3.
Oh wow. So how long have the Nomads been together as a faction? How long is it official date of the Nomads as a faction?
As the whole solid group, I would say we're about 5 years old.
5 years old.
About
Okay.
5 as the whole unit, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be close to that because when I first met you, you guys had just formed the Nomads.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
it sounds about 5 years is the whole collective group.
Right, right. Now, I got a question for you. You kind of answered some of it. But besides the members, what has really changed with the Nomads as the times have changed?
I think our style has changed a lot. When I first started with Mo Evans, we were very, we were trained more 80s style, so that was our thing. We were really slow and punch and kick and all that. Whereas now CJ was trained by Josh Raymond, who was a little bit more new school, and he helped me like think outside the box how to do the same thing different ways. So I would say our mentality, how we do things, and I would say that our look has changed obviously from me having sublimated tights and CJ wearing a singlet to now all of us looking like a biker kind of group, like a Mad Max style thing.
Right.
Right, right.
Absolutely. That's good, man. Now, the biker thing has come along from, I remember like seeing you guys a while ago back in Blue Water, you and CJ both. And it has really come a long way from back then. And I couldn't tell you how long ago that was. It had to have been about 5 years ago.
It was about 5, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's got to be early days, huh?
right.
Yeah.
Now, we know the Nomads formed. We know the Nomads have evolved over time. Things have changed. There's been some folks, and, Billy Ray being one of them, and CJ being another, that have been excused. We should say excused. I'm going to use the word excused. I don't know what you'll use, but I say excused from the faction. Can you tell us why?
Well, Billy Ray, he was. We made Billy Ray. We turned him into who he was. Like before that, he was just a guy in trunks, real skinny, and when we took him, we put some meat on his bones, we fed him, we put some clothes on him, he grew his hair out, grew his beard out, his style changed, and he started to get a little cocky. Like everything was about him after a while. So we started seeing that, and it started worrying the rest of the group. So like, hey, if this guy loses to Tenchi, we're gonna boot him out. And he did, he lost. So we ended up get rid of him because couldn't even beat Tenchi. So
The hard way. The hard way.
So CJ went on a huge family trip to Disney, but when he came back, he didn't get out of Disney World. He was still stuck there. So he was like, he came back, he was trying to get us to change our ways. We're not doing it right. We should be nice and be good. And he would sing like the Disney songs during our matches. And
really?
Yeah. And he never left Disney World. And like, that was like one show in Indiana we did. I listened to him. We didn't win, but we didn't lose the match either. So there's that. The other team lost. It was like a 4-way cluster thing, but we didn't lose. And I was like, okay, it works. And I got my McChickens at the end, so I was happy. So, but Road Rash kept showing me like, hey man, we're losing. Look at this weak link. He's still in Disneyland. And finally, at IPW, Pickles and I had it. We lost to Heidi Katrina and Dickie Watts, and Pickles and I were, that's it. He's gone. So thanks.
Well, I gotta agree with you there, Ace. Nice guys always finish last. Always.
Right.
I don't know if I like the precedent of singing Disney songs and getting beat up, because that's just giving Danny ideas. So
well, if there's anybody out of this group that sings, it's surely not I or Danny.
Exactly, yeah. He's gonna get me beat up and kicked out the group. Now, I was more introduced to the Nomads while going to Newbury for the first time. That's when I got to see you, and you guys were really going after Big Chuck, and
Whedon.
you were trying to get him in, and so you put a lot of time and energy into getting him. Now he's part of your ranks. Has there been anyone that you recruited that you just couldn't get to join into your ranks with you?
No, like everybody I handpicked and Donahue like agreed with me. Everybody fell into the fold until they started slipping, and then it was time to, all right, well, let's boot him out. Let's get another big guy in here. All right, Chuck Whedon. I've known Chuck Whedon for almost 13, 14 years. And I was like, what better way to have another big guy that's been around way longer than me? So that's when we brought him in.
Not a bad
Okay.
ad.
Yeah, and definitely another guy who will put the boots to you in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Right.
He could definitely manhandle and hold his own against a lot of guys.
Right.
Now, all right, we've asked a few questions about the Nomads. Is it all right if we ask a few questions about Ace?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that your dad was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to become a wrestler and not maybe a singer?
Well, when I tried to sing and it sounded terrible, I realized it wasn't. And when I tried to play an instrument and I couldn't figure it out, I knew that was not it for me. What really clicked with me was the King of the Ring, where it was Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon. In that match, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, Shane McMahon was like my dude at the time, and Kurt Angle was, just coming in and being like the total BA that he was. And that's what I wanted to do. I was instantly hooked because I was a late to watching wrestling.
Really?
I watched a little bit of WWF back in the day and some WCW, but it wasn't until I was in high school that I actually followed the stories and actually watched it every week and bought the pay-per-views.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
a lot of guys that I've interviewed, and I've interviewed quite a few now, mostly Michigan guys. I'm not gonna say that I'm big time or anything like that, but mostly the Michigan guys, and I'm proud of the guys that I have interviewed. But most of the guys and/or girls, they came into wrestling with a strong wrestling background. Maybe they were mat wrestling in high school, and then they were watching a lot of WWF, which that's why they went to mat wrestling, because they thought that was a way to get to the WWF. That's really blows my mind, man, that it wasn't that for you.
No, because like even when I was in high school, they didn't offer wrestling.
Really?
So yeah, so I didn't have a wrestling background at all either. I just kind of jumped into it. And
where did you grow up, if you don't mind me asking?
I grew up in Reese, Michigan.
Okay. They didn't have a wrestling team?
No.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
I always wanted to wrestle, but we just didn't have it. We had football, baseball, basketball.
I would say they're pretty small too. I went to Peck, so not much bigger. And they never offered it either. Nothing like that. They say, well, there's no one to compete with. Was the
football team.
They usually do. They usually do.
Picking all that damn corn. But anyways, I've personally seen the Nomads in 2 organizations myself. Okay, PPW. I came out to the show when you guys went against OVE, the Chris brothers, you and CJ at the time, and I didn't actually get to see all of the Nomads that as they are now, but I got to see a good amount of them. Now I've seen you in Pure Pro Wrestling, and I've also seen you guys in Rising Action Pro Wrestling, formerly known as New Breed. Now, is there promotions we're not mentioning where the fans can see A7s and or the Nomads that we haven't mentioned tonight?
Yeah. Chuck Wheaton and I, we go to North Coast Wrestling in Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
It's a Sunday night gig. As you probably saw, Matt Breeding is bringing back New Breed, so we will be there. Other than that, like we're just now starting to reach out to other promotions. We were supposed to, before all this stuff happened, we were supposed to be in New York, in Chicago, deeper south into Indiana, as well as Ohio. But all this happened and put a stop on us. But
right.
For the last few years, we mostly focused on Pure Pro because we wanted to get everything tight with each character or each person, and get all our stuff tight, and then go on to the next one and the next one. We want to go where people haven't seen us to get more eyes on us. So that's why we're reaching out now to farther out distances.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you kind of answered my next question, but I mean, what's the bigger plan that you guys have? I know you're saying you want to get out there and start getting to more places that people haven't seen you before. I mean, going to New York, that's a pretty good distance. Is there any that's more of a short-term plan. That's what you guys should have already done if it wasn't for all this. So is there something that's more of like a long-term goal that you guys are working towards?
Yeah, Road Rash and I are actually looking into NWA.
Oh, very nice.
We're looking to try to help them with ring crew and whatever else to try to get a foot in the door, be some squash dudes for them, just to get in there so they could see us. And that's where Road Rash and I, our next goal is.
Very nice.
That's a pretty damn good long-term goal.
Heck yeah, it is.
If not there, we want to go to MLW.
There is no try, first of all. Nobody. Rule number 1 with dealing with me, there is no try. It is do or do not. Either you do or you do not.
Right.
That's right.
And you guys are you're stomping everywhere you go.
That's right.
Yes. Now, we we're going to be going into a few more, or you guys getting a few more members of the Nomads on or we are Michigan Independent Weekly for Tuesday. We're hoping to get their insight on the Nomads and maybe some of their stories. Is there anything you'd like to share with us we love road stories, man. Is there one that you can give up without getting too many people in trouble?
I got a good one. So this is before the Nomads. I was doing a greaser character at the time, and I actually had my hair.
You got to send me a picture.
Oh, I got tons of them.
Send me a picture, dude. I got to see this.
I used to, when I started my matches, I used to go to tie up with the guy, and I'd pull a switchblade out of my boot. And when I would flip it open, it was the comb, and I'd fix my hair. So we had just started getting into Indiana. I was riding every weekend with like Corky Robinson, Nick Zero, Devin. What did he wrestle as? I think it was Devin Crawford, Casey Lofton, Mike Feeney. We were all traveling every weekend down to Indiana, and we did this thing called Hog Bash. And the promoter the promoter says, we're doing a nice thing for the Red Cross. We're raising money, all this. You guys interested? There's no pay, whatever. Yeah, sure. We just want to wrestle. We're young and dumb. So we go, and Corky was one of the bookers on this show. And he had like Legion, he had Chris Corvus, he had I think Aaron O'Ryan was supposed to be there. And on the way there, we find that we can't find the place. We kept passing it. And Phil kept calling us and like, dude, is this thing real? Like, what's going on? Well, all of a sudden, Ken, the Great Akuma was with them. And he says, oh man, Phil, we got a flat tire. I don't know if we're going to make it. And Corky's like kind of pooping himself at this point because he's trying to run the show plus have the cars together. And so, we're going to change the tire. We'll be going. They call back and there's a siren going off. Oh man, Phil was changing the tire, got hit by a car. What is going on? So we finally find the place, and when we drive in, it's this long dirt road. And it's got these it looks like hills have eyes. They have these signs, keep going, hog bash, hog bash, hog bash. And we finally get up to where it is, and it's like a rave in the middle of a cornfield. It's not even a red crop. There's a band on the stage, and their faces all painted, and they're playing rock music, and you can see like the glowing lights in the back, like deeper into the woods and into the cornfield. And we're like, what do we get ourselves into? Well, we walk up, and then Phil and Malice are there. And we're like, well, we thought you got hit by a car. And he's like, no, I just was wanting to mess with you guys because they were trying to make us pay to get in this thing that we're booked for. And we're like, okay. So Corky thinks he's going to get his butt beat by Phil. So I don't know if you guys met Phil yet, but he's
I know.
your boy, and Corky's 5'2".
Right.
So we go there, we do the show. We can't find Great Akuma anywhere. Well, he decided he wanted to go off into the rave, and his match was on next. So Corky's like getting so mad because like wrestlers are disappearing. The show started way later because the band wouldn't stop playing, and all this is going on. And then we go to leave, and Corky gets a flat tire. Flat tire. So they're like, all right, well, let's just pile into Mike Feeney's car. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Well, Mike Feeney at the time had like a little 2-seater car that we were, 6 people weren't going to fit in. All these weird things are going on this night. It was the worst night of my whole, that. I hated this night. This is one of my stories. If I ever write a book, it's going in. And so Josh Raymond, I had just met him that night, and he was training Jun Hato at the time. And he actually saved us. He invited us to his house and let us crash in his ring the night. And he hooked Corky up with a tire, and he saved us pretty much. So I think Josh Raymond for the rest of my life for saving us from Hog Bash, because that was the worst trip ever.
That's awesome.
I got another quick story about Hakeem Zayn.
Uh-oh.
So we're traveling to a show, and he always liked to sit in the back. So it was a guy that used to wrestle Beefcake. I don't know if you guys ever seen him. And I.
Oh yeah, I know Beefcake. I know who he is.
Yep. And it was Hakeem Zayn, and we all trained at Pure Pro Wrestling. So we're trying to hit the roads all together. And Beefcake and I are talking in the front seat, just whatever. all of a sudden, so Beefcake has this moon roof that's open. All of a sudden, Hakeem Zane goes, "Oh crap!" and he jumps headfirst into my lap, and his feet are sticking out of the window. And we're laughing, like, what is going on? There was a bee in the back seat, and it scared the ever-living crap out of him. And so we're driving down the highway. His feet are kicking out the window like this. And cars next to us just watching, like, what is going on? And then, like, finally, I get composure. I'm like, what is the matter with you? As I'm looking down, and his head's in my lap, you know. There's a bee in the back seat. Really? You're scared of a bee?
Wow.
That's great.
That's great.
Now, man, so we're looking forward to having a few more of the, including yourself. We film MIDub on Mondays, and then it comes on Tuesdays. So, when I say tomorrow, we really mean Tuesday. How's that sound? But, we look
Like
forward.
midnights.
We're not exactly sure who's going to be able to join us. But when we do, you will know. And we definitely look forward to having, whoever does join us. Hopefully we can get Donahue in here. He's quite a mouthpiece, if you ask me. He's a talker. Definitely a talker.
One of the guys who I kind of look up to a bit. I love the way I love the attitude.
To somebody.
You know what? Hey, listen, Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura, Club Director Donahue are a few of the guys who, man, they know what it's about.
Oh,
they get it.
In his jeans right now to be in that group. Ace knows what I'm talking about. He's like, oh wow, you just put me there. Oh, well, thank you. Jeez, thank you so much. He is one of the talkers, and when he brought a different element to the Nomads, because previously at Rising Action, he wasn't there until recently. And
Right.
He's brought a different element to the faction known as the Nomads at Rising Action Wrestling.
Yeah, it's a ball back.
Well, there's that, but the mouthpiece, when you have somebody that can talk like that, it brings a different element. It brings something else to the game that other people might not necessarily be able to bring. There isn't a whole lot of talkers in Rising Action Wrestling right now. There is some who are starting to come out of the what's the word I'm looking for? Come out of the, not the closet, but their shell.
Mhm.
Their shell.
Yeah.
They're coming out of the shell. And one of those guys, he's not a nomad. However, he is a talker, and that's AVZ. That kid, man, when I had never seen him before, one time, never. And he wrestled Chuck Whedon at Rising Action Wrestling. And I went, who is this kid? And then I talked to him, and then I seen him another time. And now I've seen him cut numerous promos. And I am excited for this kid's career because he has something. And
I agree.
he has something. And I don't know if you would agree with me on this, Ace, but in my personal opinion, you don't necessarily have to be the best wrestler in the world to be really good. If you can talk and you can bring them people along with you, you're gold.
If you have something that the audience can attach to, I think that's, and oh man, I want to see that guy or girl next week or next month or at this show. And when you start seeing that person pop up, oh yeah, that, and they can really not do anything.
Yeah.
But that's your favorite guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to poop on anybody here, but like, look at Orange Cassidy. It does the hands in the pocket gimmick, and people love the crap out of it. And it's
Right.
Absolutely.
And I've watched him before he did that gimmick, and he can go. But now he's doing this thing, and it's a little bit whatever. As he's kind of puts off. People are buying it.
Right. Now, before we slide into what we call legit wrestling questions, where the fans and the people watching get to ask us, which they're probably not going to ask us much because we're You know, you kind of like, you're like the star, and we're just here to kind of like bat at you or something, right? but anyways, before we do that, I want to know, Ace Evans and the Nomads, what do you think the state of Michigan independent wrestling? I've said this on numerous occasions. I believe that the state of Michigan is on an independent wrestling bubble, and it's about to I'm putting $1 in the square jar. It's about to fucking pop. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is so much talent right here in the state of Michigan that is killing it. Killing it.
I agree.
What do you think? Do you think that we're in a good spot? Do you not think we're in a good spot? What do you think as far as Michigan indie wrestling goes? I could give 2 shits, another $1. I could give 2 shits, another $1 less about WWE, AEW, and all that good jazz. All I care about right now is Michigan indie wrestling. What do you think?
I have to agree. I think that there's a lot of good guys and girls coming out of House of Truth, out of Pure Pro Wrestling. You know, I'm just looking at all the talent and all the variety of talent. It's not all just the same cookie cutter or whatever. You know, it's a lot of different characters coming out.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you know, you got AVZ who's doing like the millennial thing, and that's freaking awesome because that's relevant right now.
And it's working.
There's a guy, I think his name's Derek Draven out of Pure Pro Wrestling, who's doing like a savior, like a White House gimmick. And the way he does the gimmick, it's like watching a movie. You know, and not many
promos are amazing, dude.
Yeah. You know, and not many guys and girls fresh out of class can get a character. You know, they're so scared of doing the moves right as opposed to getting a character and a gimmick going that, you know, some of these guys are actually working on it, you know, and it's great.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You're getting a lot of people that don't have that much time in it, but they're coming out so good right off the gate. You talk to some of the guys, it's like, well, how long have you been doing it? Oh, I've been doing it 6 months. What?
You like look at like the Grey Wolves. You know, they've only been doing it for a little over a year.
We got a T-shirt,
and they're killing it right now. You know, they're that new age style. You know, they're like a new age like rockers almost.
You know,
right?
Yes. What I find what's really cool is in the situation that we're in for us, you know, because we're not trained wrestlers, so we don't get inside the locker room. We don't get to see behind the curtain as we do, but not nearly as much as say you, right? Okay. But one of the cool things about doing what we do is meeting people like the Grey Wolves who have made their bones, who we've watched make their bones by working security at XICW, by being ring crew at XICW, and then to finally get to see them wrestle, and then to see them just absolutely freaking kill it. Love it, dude. Love it. That Dread King show, the Dread Queen show, that was the first time I got to see those guys wrestle.
Those guys. Woo.
Yeah. And they absolutely killed it. And I no homo, but I'm in love with those guys.
I like them.
I do.
It's funny because me and Cody were sitting together for that show, and we just kept looking at the ring and looking at each other like,
wow,
holy crap.
Like, I mean, wow.
You know, just to watch them go the way that they did was
brought
amazing.
A different level of intensity that hasn't been seen around here in a while. If you ask me.
And I love what you said about a new version of the Rockers, because you know what? When you said it, I could see it.
That's crazy. Now,
I mean, look at Gracefully Chosen. You know, those guys doing
another great team.
Their promos, their talk show promo is killed.
Those guys are funny. When they were going back and forth with the Bumpin' Uglies and Studio 86, that was gold.
Real Risers promos were funny.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yes.
Now, we got to ask questions. We found out, we got a little bit more in-depth look into the faction of the Nomads. You know, started in Pure Pro Wrestling, correct?
Yes.
Started in Pure Pro Wrestling and has manifested itself throughout the state of Michigan. And now is starting to work its way down south and even out to the East Coast. Sounds like, I don't know, some other things that we know about that ride Harleys. But we'll just keep it right there because, we don't want anybody knocking on the door. Right? I don't need anybody knocking on my door. Anyway, we are now going to transition into what we like to call legit wrestling questions. And this is the section of the show where you can ask us questions about wrestling. Now, we don't usually have a guest on the show on Sunday night. But we do tonight. So what's that mean? You can ask him questions. You can ask us questions. However, it has to be about wrestling. It cannot be about Josh or I's Hair for Men Club stuff. It can't be about Mr. Danny Beals Rogaine because his ass hurts. And you can't ask this guy about, I don't know what kind of crankshaft he uses on his Harley. Okay. You got to ask him about wrestling. All right. So here we go. When we come back from this thing, once I get it up here, oh, did you hear that? I said, get it up here. So here,
man, he took it before I could get it.
Because I knew you guys were going to be on me. So I just did. I was like Eminem doing freestyle on 8 Mile, buddy. All right, here we go. When we come back, legit wrestling questions. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, legit wrestling questions, where you can ask me, Josh, Danny, and or the leader of the Nomads, Ace Evans, any question about professional wrestling. It doesn't matter if it's about the Nomads, WWE, AEW, PPW, XLW, XFL, whatever. Just whatever. Let's make it happen.
Roth 4i.
Yeah.
Dominic Huck has asked the question, how's Mo doing?
Mo's doing great. He actually just started wrestling again the past probably about 2 years, and he hasn't lost a step. He's still doing really great. We actually did a tribute to the Dudley Boyz, and we came out with the Dudley gear. It was all Evans Boyz themed. Put somebody through a table with the 3D. He's doing great though. Nice. He's had another baby boy. That's number 4 for him. But he's still living.
4?
Catching up with me.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all nuts. Any more than 2s? I was good with 1. Second one came along.
Listen,
I'm good sleeping in.
This guy over here.
I told you.
Danny Beals
I told you
got
after
22 freaking kids.
Listen, after 3, you just go insane, and it just don't matter no more. That's just the way it is.
Danny,
you just
go lock them in a room and they watch each other.
No, you know what? Here's the deal. Here, I'll tell you what, Ace. You need to get with this guy because he's breeding the future Nomads. He's got 8 of them already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's got your gang taken care of. All right. This guy here.
And
now,
listen. Well, don't say that too loud. Then I'm gonna have Skyjacker being like, "Hey, you can hold an Ace. I need to get in."
Now, this is a really good question. It came in a little bit earlier, but I don't know if this person is still here. But Light My Flyer is their name, and they were wondering if any bikers, quotation marks, any bikers have or give you slack or any props for using a Nomad name for your faction.
No,
that's a really good question.
Surprisingly, we get backed by the biker guys. We represent them. And now they can get tied into the show.
That's interesting.
Surprisingly, cops like us too, which is odd.
Because I'm okay, kayfabe and all that good stuff. Because you're playing a character, right? You're playing a character now. Maybe you really do own a Harley, but you could probably do bad shit and get away with it because you play a character. You know what I'm saying? You're like in Hulk Hogan territory right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Hey, we got Zeke. Zeke wants to know Nomads versus the Faceless? Question mark.
Oh boy.
That is one I've been waiting for. Like I've been wanting to do it at Horror Slam. Because
are you working Horror Slam now?
I'm just waiting on them to get back with me.
Okay.
So hopefully when all this virus stuff is over, I can start going back there. But it seems like that show, The Faceless, is really into their element. You know what I mean? Like that's like you see like the more raw version of them. And
Right,
that's where I want to go against them.
Absolutely. Now the Faceless, they're I don't know if they're all there. Like, especially Kevin, man. I mean, that guy is a little loopy, dude.
He's got good artwork.
Well, yeah,
I got it hanging on my wall.
I see that. He paints pictures and takes us to the ring with them, I guess.
right. Well, yeah, and he's like all talking about despair, and he's a little loopy. And even Dan was saying like the other day he's been posting something about like all this. He's really tired of all this positiveness, and like he's gonna make us all pay and stuff.
I did see that.
Woo!
Now, here's the question, Ace. To go into Horror Slam, who's coming with you, or is that a surprise?
Well, if CJ can get out of Disneyland, I would love to take him. But if not, he can stay home. But in all seriousness, it would be Road Rash and Chuck Whedon.
Chuck Whedon.
Nice.
That's a lot of power on one side of a ring right there.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And if you ever
no
watch
joke,
Road
man.
Rash, I mean, he's not all there either. He's a little.
You know.
but talk about another guy that can cut a hell of a promo.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, well, I talked about this, and we've talked about this between the three of us, and then we've had this conversation with other folks about promos. Matter of fact, one of all of our mutual friends, Mr. Fitness, okay, Slim Trimmins. I interviewed him the other night. We did an interview, and we were talking about promos, and it's a lost art somewhat. And I want to find out your opinion on this one. He said that, and this is what his opinion was, okay, it's an opinion, is that he believes that a lot of the up-and-coming guys, the newer guys, grew up in the era where there was a lot of talk and no wrestling, so they believe that the promo isn't worth it. What is your thought on that?
I could see that. And another thing, too, I think so many guys want to do the real spotty wrestling and not talk. You know, how much talking is there really like in old school TNA, you know, when they had the 6-sided ring? It was all go, 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 go. And they didn't really have to talk, but they were advertised every week. So, okay, well, I really like AJ Styles. I really like Christopher Daniels and America's Most Wanted. Because I see them, that doesn't mean they talked a lot. But I do think it is a lost art because I think people are too scared to not be them and be something else. And to practice that is embarrassing. You know, like you watch AVZ, he does promos with another, like the straight guy or whatever. And like, I think that helps him a lot, you know, with his studying. Like, oh, okay, I really liked how this worked. But if you're just staring at a mirror, like you're told, like, okay, cut a promo on yourself, and you're just sitting there trying to cut a promo on yourself, it's just kind of like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
So I think a lot of people just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just wrestle.
Gotcha.
And that's why, like, you know, like a lot of shows, you know, you don't see a lot of promo advertisement for you know, let's say XICW or PPW or wherever. You don't ever see a lot of guys doing promos because I think they're a little scared.
Yeah.
To be embarrassed.
Yeah. I really find it that a promo draws me more to a show.
Yes.
It really does. Talking about Derek Draven. I have never seen this dude wrestle. Not one time. Never even heard of the dude. Seen a promo. I am absolutely freaking amazed. And then the promos just continue to get better And the more promos I see, I'm like, dude, I need to see this guy wrestle.
Yes.
Based off the promo, nothing else. No word of mouth, no writing on Facebook, nothing. Just merely based upon the promo I have watched him cut on several different occasions. The only reason why I want to see the dude wrestle.
And I think that's what helps a lot too. You know, I mean, look at like when Bray Wyatt started doing the Fiend thing, like the Firefly Funhouse thing. Like nobody knew what it was, but they wanted to see it.
Right.
Like, oh, what's this Mr. Rogers and like Pee Wee's Playhouse kind of thing going on? But they wanted to see it.
Right.
Right.
And even when he did the original Bray Wyatt gimmick, the horror story with the fireflies and stuff, he talked and talked and talked before he even came out and wrestled.
Right.
And that was a good advertisement. Oh man, okay, I really want to see what this guy's about. You know, and I think like too many guys are just like they just want to wrestle.
Right.
They don't want to do that self promotion and try to get their name known by, oh man, this guy looks interesting. This is kind of cool. I would book this guy just because of what he says and how he talks, and you know, he's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we got a couple more questions coming in. Hold on there, Danny. We got a couple more questions in. All right. If you could choose anyone from the Michigan independent wrestling scene to join the Nomads, who would it be and why? That's Dominic. I don't know how to say the last name.
Is it HUYPK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pike.
Right.
I know Dom. Man. There's a lot of good ones out there that kind of fit the mold, you know, like we kind of joked about it earlier, Matt Hagen. Like he would fit just, you know, his persona with us.
Ruthless, big, yeah.
Trying to think of some others that would kind of fit the mold in Michigan. There's not too many that kind of do though, because everybody has their own like their niche, you know, like the Faceless. Like I couldn't see them doing anything else but what they're doing.
You really have to be careful. Because at the end of the day, it's a faction, but it's also a club. And the club is always for each other and not themselves.
Right.
So you really have to be careful, because if that person is out for themselves and bring them into the club, then they just eat the club from the inside out.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword there.
Now, we were talking about you guys facing the Faceless, but the Guru has said, if you're coming to Horror Slam, forget the Faceless. That's Detroit Punk territory.
Now, that would be a good match, too. I'd like to see the Nomads versus Detroit Punk. Sean Lawhorn, and we'll give you Mitch Hewitt.
Yeah, that'd be a good match.
Or you could swap out Chuck Stein there.
Do 3-on-3.
Good. Just tell Chuck that he's got to leave the little needles and stuff at home. That's kind of
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Needles.
I'm with you there.
Needles. No needles.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Even the Dark Kingdom over at Horror Slam would be fun.
Yeah, they would.
Oh, yeah.
Zeke here asks, who from the big companies is the ideal nomad? So basically the feds, the bigwigs.
We joked about this a lot, and it would be Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're not really there
I
anymore.
can definitely see that.
We joked about that a lot. Like, man, that'd be so cool to have them join us. I mean, it would kind of work.
Yeah, it would. Bring them on in. Better tell Xavier, call the boys.
I told Matt to bring them in so we could go against them.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. That'd be a good one, man. I was there for the night you guys took on OVE. That was a good one, man. That was
fun.
That was a good night. I had a good time there. That was at the
Birch Run Expo Center.
That's it. Thank you. You're more familiar with out there than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was exactly it. Good stuff. Yes. Zeke says he could see that. Awesome. Well, my man, dude, we look forward to sitting down with you guys again tomorrow, which will be on the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel, R2 YouTube, the letter R, the number 2, YouTube.com. On Tuesday, what do we say, 7:15 now we're doing? 7:15 p.m. We're doing p.m. now because it seems like everybody likes PM rather than AM. I guess. All right, whatever. Hey, it's cool. I'm a PM guy too, but I work days. So, but I'm
We don't have to wake up for work. What?
not right now, anyways.
Right.
Give it a couple days, and they'll be calling us back soon. You just wait. It's time.
Yep.
It's time. Now, before we get out of here, we want to say thank you to the man, Ace Evans.
Thank you, sir, very
leader.
much.
Thank you, Ace.
We look forward to, again, like I said, we look forward to having you guys in as many as we can tomorrow to get some of their insights on the Nomads and some of their stories on how they joined the Nomads and what their thoughts are and things like that. Because, you know, the one thing that MI-Dub and Rasslin Rage is all about is Michigan indie wrestling. We absolutely love Michigan indie wrestling, and we could give two shits less about anything else other than Michigan indie wrestling, to be perfectly honest. This guy, me, I know, I don't even watch the Fed anymore because I just don't care. What I do care about is when the next Michigan Independent Wrestling show is, when's the next XICW, when's the next this, when's the next Rising Action, when's that. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. That's where I want to go. That's where I'm going to get my more bang for the buck, and I'm going to be involved because I love wrestling.
I want to hear someone get chopped. I want to see someone hit the mat. I want to buy a t-shirt from the wrestler. I want to tell Neil to shut up.
That too.
Yes.
Josh, I almost think you're getting to my level on the t-shirts now.
I'm starting. I'm trying.
No, there is no try.
I am.
There we
I will
go.
say this.
There you go.
Hey, Dre Jacobs, the last XICW show that we got to go to, he said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Well, do you have 3X?" He goes, "Yeah, I have 3X shirts." I went, "Oh, okay, cool. Which one do you have in 3X?" He goes, "Oh, I have all 4 of my designs in 3X." And I went, "I can pick."
Big man issues. Yeah, they're real.
Right. Those big guys. Dude. We need big shirts.
Fantastic.
Right now,
I think half my closet's made by Face Kick Apparel.
Well, MI-Dub t-shirts are made
you know
by
what?
Face Cook Apparel. So
I was looking the other day. Other than my dress shirts, all of my shirts are wrestling.
Oh yeah, dude.
And quite a few of them came from that guy.
Right.
You
That's
know.
right.
And my one of a kind.
Suck up. Anyways, thank you to our sponsors, Happy Harper Ice Cream and BCWA. Please smash the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already.
Make sure to click the bell so you can be notified about all the new content that's available on the channel, because there's a lot coming.
Amen.
We're now uploading content on the Bean Pod. Follow us on Bean Pod too.
Podbean.
Podbean. We can't get it right. I can't get it right. Josh can't get it right. Cody keeps
the one
making us do it.
drinking. This guy, you hear this guy? Bean Pod. Can you download, head on over to Bean Pod, beanpod.com.
You know what? I probably sent people over to a channel that they probably shouldn't watch.
Right?
It's like farmersonly.com.
Oh boy. 2 chicks in a cup or whatever that was. One. Oh man, here we go. Well, again, thank you to Mr. Ace Evans of the Nomads for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing all of you again on Tuesday, May 5th, for the special Nomads episode of Michigan Independent Weekly.
I don't get to say anything at the end?
Nope. Ha!
You know what do you want to say, Josh? Are you okay?
He's going to go into business for himself like always.
Josh,
That's not what I was going to do.
what are you going to do?
Make sure that you guys keep in touch with Rasslin Rage and MIW and look to the future of Happy Harper Ice Cream, where we're working on an A7's ice cream flavor.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Well, and you wait till now to tell us.
Yep.
What's wrong with you? You wait till just now to tell us.
Everyone
Really?
finds out at the same time, man.
Oh my God. All right. Thank you.
Can we fire him? Hold on. It's not too late. Fire him.
You're fired.
Yes.
We're out of here. You guys have a good night. r2youtube.com. The letter R, the number 2, youtube.com.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Going down. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. We're doing now. This is Rasslin Rage.